Charles Walhingford, back again with another watch video, and thanks for joining me. This video was inspired by one of my subscribers, Santiago Del Rio. Santiago and I were having a conversation. Just to let you know, he's one of my biggest critics. And that conversation was an argument, but it was an argument amongst gentlemen, so we kept it nice and gentleman-like. But at the end of that argument, he posed a question to me, and he said it would make a good video. Matter of fact, he said, you should do a video on if you could only wear one watch, which would it be and why? Now that's a hard question for me because I like to have multiple watches. That's just my type of thing. Plus it's called a watch collection, right? I want to have multiple watches. So wow, what I decided to do, I decided to make that question a little more streamlined and more realistic for me. So I changed it to, if I had to sell all of my watches, which watch would I save? And then there's a second question. If I had to get rid of all my watches because I'm just done with watch collecting, not because I had to sell them, but I'm done with watch collecting, I still like watches, and I had to consolidate those watches into one, what one watch would I purchase? So let's answer that first question. The first question would be, out of my collection, it would be my Omega Seamaster 300. It's the newer one. It doesn't have the wave pattern, black dial. The reason why I would keep that one is just for practicality purposes. That watch can go with anything. That watch and that style has and can stand the test of time. It is pretty well put together. On top of that, because of the type of movement, it wouldn't be too expensive to have to service when it comes to that if I'm keeping it for a long time. But that would be the watch that I would keep when all the rest of them had to go. Question 2, if I decided to hang it up, like I said, and watch collecting is done for me, and I can consolidate all my watches into one, I'm going to go with a more realistic thought process. And my first idea was to go with the Breguet Type 21. And for those of you who've been following me, you know how much I love the Breguet Type 21. That is one of my most favorite watches, most intriguing watches to me. I love the company, the brand Breguet, the history behind it and everything else. But the only problem with that watch, I don't feel that I would want to wear it every day. I would want to baby it. I wouldn't want to have it on my wrist on a regular basis. And I want to have a watch that I will absolutely wear often. So I decided the best watch would be, for me, Grand Seiko Spring Drive Snowflake. Reference number SGB011 or SGB211. That's what I would choose. I think both of those watches will stand the test of time. Both of those watches are horologically significant. Both of those watches are just absolutely beautiful. Now, as you see, this is not the end of the video yet. You have plenty of time. What's going on? What's going on is I decided to pose this question to this YouTuber that I respect so much. He just started. I call him the Rookie of the Year. This is Rich from What's on the Wrist.
I never heard of him.
So who is this guy?
Hi Charles, Rookie of the Year for YouTube's luxury wristwatch genre winner. Wow, that would be my most prestigious award ever. Thanks for that introduction. And thanks for inviting me on your channel and for including me on your show today, inspired by viewer Santiago. And thanks again for our recent collaboration. Charles's responses were so well received. I hope all of your viewers get a chance to watch that show. So, your first question for me is, if I had to sell all of my watches except for one, which would I keep? And this sort of reminds me of, if your house is on fire, which watch do you go back to save? And before I get to that, let me, provide some of the watches that I own. And they are the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 16200, the Grand Seiko SBGR 097, a Jean Richard Aeroscope, a Gerard Perregaux 1945 vintage, a Panerai PAM 125, and an Omega Constellation. And this choice is easy, and the one watch that I would keep is my Rolex, because it was given to me by my father. It's the only watch given to me by my father, and to me, sentimental value trumps all else. Except if someone wants to offer me $2 million, I might consider that and buy some new memories. I'm kidding. But realistically, I also am aware of the price that he paid for it in 2004 and the value that it is today. And I also understand that I could make a nice turnaround on it. I also think that the Rolex Oyster Perpetual or the Datejust are one of the most versatile watches we have, and they look great either on a Jubilee bracelet or its Oyster bracelet or a leather strap as well. So that is, the Rolex is the one watch that I would keep in this scenario. And your second question you have for me is, if I decide to hang up watch collecting and I was to sell my entire collection to buy just one watch, which one watch would I buy that would satisfy me for the rest of my life? And even though this was a fantasy question, I was really in the midst of an internal debate. This was some challenging question, Charles. And this was really challenging. But the one watch that I would buy to replace my entire collection and be a one watch owner is the Patek Nautilus 5712. This watch I think does it for me. I love its steel blue dial. I like its 40mm case size, which to me is the sweet spot for a sports watch. And I also adore all of its other features, including its moon phases and its power reserve and date. So this is the one watch that I cannot see myself getting tired of wearing day after day. And if that ever would happen, I could just simply not wear the watch for a week and revisit it, and I think all would be well again. I'm also not someone who buys into slick marketing or celebrity endorsements. But of all the watch campaigns, this campaign by Patek really resonates with me. This is a watch, like that Rolex that was given to me by my father, is a watch that I could see giving to my son one day. The Patek campaign was really effective. This was a really entertaining question. Thanks for this fun question, Charles.
Damn. That's a nice collection. Now, far as the Datejust, you have a Rolex as your sentimental watch. Oh, that's a no-brainer. That's an easy one. Absolutely. That's the way you have to go. And for Patek, man, that's a smart move for a fantasy budget. But either way, absolutely smart move. Again, beautiful watch, stands the test of time. It can go with any kind of outfit if you only had to have one watch. So Rich, great choices. Thank you for contributing, and I can't wait to do more videos with you. Speaking of that, if you haven't already, Rich and I have a previous video on his channel, so check out his channel. It's a pretty good video. It's quite interesting. Yeah, just check it out. Okay, everyone, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I am interested in your comments. Let me know what watches in your collection that you would like to pick, or what watch you would love to consolidate into one watch right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Charles Walhingford, and
that is how I would spend my money. Just simply not wear the watch for a week and revisit it.
Patek and Rolex. You just one-up me on my own video.
I'm also not Rich, do you mind saying these things about me?
I didn't make him say
well,
that.
Maybe. Let's take a look. I'm the greatest cigar pairing specialist on the planet.
It's true.
Little Treasury Jewelers couldn't function without me.
No, I did not know.
Nobody on YouTube has my swag.
Who talks like that?